I once was lost, but now I'm found. Those are the timeless words of Amazing Grace by John Newton. And if there were ever two lives that embodied those words, it is the lives of two sisters from Kenya, Batuli and Fatuma. Let's begin with Batuli. She was the second-born child in a family of 7. They were a typical Kenyan family living in Nairobi. Living in a polygamous home, her father had multiple wives, and while they faced numerous challenges, they grew up loving one another. They were close-knit. Batuli was brilliant. She went through the Kenyan education system and excelled, reaching grade 8. But there, the road stopped. She could not continue to secondary school because there was simply no money for school fees. Batuli was heartbroken. Her younger sister, Fatuma, the last-born child, faced that same heartbreak several years later. She, too, could not continue her education. So the sisters found themselves asking the same question: what are we doing with our lives? They spent most of their time in the mosque, praying. Batuli moved around the neighborhood seeking casual jobs, hoping to save money to return to school. But the jobs she found did not pay well enough. One day, she reconnected with a woman named Patience. Patience knew that Batuli was sharp and made a promise to support her education. Batuli enrolled in a local technical college to learn a skill. This began a long friendship where Patience would always say, "Let's pray." Patience consistently shared about the goodness and love of God and how He sent Jesus to save us. Eventually, she invited Batuli to church. Batuli began to admire her friend's lifestyle, her joy and heart to help even a stranger. She shared her desire to understand the love Patience had shown. Batuli decided to follow Jesus so that she could experience what she saw in Patience's life. She became a disciple of Jesus. When she shared her conversion, her mother was shocked and angry. Her home became a battleground, and in the end, she ran away. Patience hosted her until she finished her training. Batuli secured a job and started to take care of her own life, separating from her old ways. Her father told her she was no longer welcome. Batuli struggled, but she clung to the hope that God would be with her. God gave her people who were more than just friends. They became her new family. Several months later, she met a young man and they married. At the birth of her firstborn, her mother secretly visited. In that beautiful reunion, her mother embraced her and asked for forgiveness. She sensed God was calling her into the ministry of intercession. She felt an intense burden to pray specifically for her family. One day, she heard God saying, "My daughter, forgive them as I have forgiven you." She took steps to go home and talk to her father. She made peace with her parents before they passed away. She made it her mission to boldly proclaim her faith to her siblings. Now let us turn to her sister, Fatuma. Her story is defined by the verse, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Fatuma also struggled when she could not continue school. She eventually married a man who changed drastically and became abusive. She opposed his plans for a second marriage, but he married anyway. Fatuma was heartbroken and eventually left, losing custody of her children. She moved to Mombasa to start afresh, praying to Allah to help her. There, she met a young man willing to help her with custody. She prayed, "God, bring my children back." Miraculously, her ex-husband called. She could receive her children that very evening. She remembered her promise to God. She was led to Christ that evening, starting a new life as a Christian. She eventually married the man who helped her. They are now happily married, sharing their story of how God uses ordinary people. Today, Fatuma and Batuli continue to be the intercessors for the family. They desire their lives to be like a book read by all people. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more stories of grace.